So I'm going to show you how to create your own level in the BattleBlock Theater level editor. So first thing you're going to want to do is create a new level. Obviously don't load it or edit the playlist if you don't have one yet. So create a new level. This is where you're going to pick the size, so the width and the height. 30 by 20 is the standard, so I'd go with that unless you really do want to make a much larger or a much smaller level. Decide this before because you can't change it afterwards. You can always just pick it, look, not like it, discard the level, and then change it there, but once you change the size here, you're done. So, it's important to decide before how big you want your level. This is the standard size, so there's a lot of helpful editor hits that they give you. I've already kind of played around in this and made my own levels, so the tips don't have the tips on because they're kind of annoying, but they were very helpful in the beginning. So one of the first things you're going to want to do is there are 3 items you're going to want to put in the game because you cannot save your level until these items are placed. So the first thing you want to do is hold tab. When you hold the tab button down, you get all these nice features. The second you let go, that's when it goes away. So for instance, you hold over this one, let go, and then now that block's able to be placed all over the place. But I digress. The first thing you're going to want to add is a player start. So it's this little cage. If you've never played the game before, this is just what the player comes out of. Because it's about, being like trapped and imprisoned. So you're let out of a cage, essentially. So you'll put that, and I'll just place it here, I guess. And then the next thing you're going to want is an exit. Can't get out of the level without one. So I'll place that here. And strawberries here at the top. You're going to need at least 3 of these in your level for the player to be able to exit and for you to be able to save. So if you're familiar with the game and you've played the actual version of it, but not the community versions, you know that you have to collect these green gems. Now, in the level editing version, all the community levels that people make, they changed it to strawberries. Not really sure why they changed it. So that's what you have to have for the player to collect them all and then exit the level. That can be kind of confusing for people. So it's important to mention. Apparently I do still have the editor tips on. Anyway, so those are the first 3 things you need to be able to save it. So if you press escape, you've got test level, which you can play to test your level over and over again. Resume editor. You can reset your level if you want. You can edit and upload your playlist in here. There's some help and options which can help you give more tips and tricks. This is how you exit the level. If you want to load one of your other levels, you can do it here. But this is the most important for now, is saving the level. So if you click on this, this is my playlist. So I'm just going to create a new playlist. So enter the name for your playlist. That's the most important. There is, I'm just going to name it tutorial. I think it's spell. Gosh. Okay. Tutorial. There is a character limit, so you can't have much more than this. So just keep that in mind. Don't pick a long name, because that's what happened to me, and I had to change it already. So that's the playlist. If you want the name for your level, each level's named differently, so when you're in your playlist, you can see the differences and stuff. Enter the name for my level. I'll just do tutorial number 1. So creative. Okay, so that's how you can see the save successful there. So resume the editor here, and there are some other features I want to tell you about. Hold tab, that's the most important, and you get all these fun options you can add. You don't have access to everything that the main game adds, but you have a fair bit. So this is a regular block. This is a cloud block. This one you jump around on. You can figure these out yourself. If you can't tell, from the visual, you can place it into the level and then test it to see what it does. I had to do that a lot because none of them are labeled, so some of them I wasn't 100% sure what they did. This guy's kind of fun. I have a couple on my level. He kind of just sweeps the room. That's a disappearing block. Those are fun as well. There's some arrow signs and things like that. Some lasers, bombs, things like that. What I do want to mention, which is kind of cool, you can also place a block in any direction. Some blocks in any directions because they do depend. Like this block, I could place it here. There we go. Or I can use any of the arrow keys that are popping up to change which direction they are so that the spikes are down, you know, facing the right way. It won't let you place a block if it's facing the wrong way. You'll get this X. So keep that in mind. A lot of different features. A portal, you need to have 2 in a level to go between them. Fairly obvious there. A lot of different explosives, different, you can, you know, create this solo or co-op, and that's going to be different depending on how you design it. A lot of different features. Here are more of the enemies here. There are enemies here. The saw is really fun. It goes back and forth, kills people. The laser's kind of fun. The interesting thing about a laser is it has to be placed on a plain block, essentially with nothing on the top. So you'd have to do this, go back, grab the laser, and then place it there. And then it starts shooting, and that kills the player. You've got a couple other features here. You've got the boat, so if you have water in your level, your player can swim. You've got wings, the player can fly around, the little pet they can ride on. Strawberries, blocks that have strawberries hidden behind them. Pie that just kind of gives you a little bit of invincibility. Checkpoints are super important. You want to have probably at least one of these in your level, just so the player doesn't have to start all the way back over if they die. And then you've got a couple other features here. The secret level is unfortunately kind of frustrating because I can't figure it out yet. But there's a couple other just fun options here you can play around with. The other thing I want to show you is if you hold shift, you've got even more options. So you can do 1 block, you can do 2. So you can kind of do this mirrored effect and make it all equal, which is really nice. You can do it with 2 up and down, or you can even do it with 4 if you want something mirrored and equal like that, which is a really nice feature. This, you can change the color of your blocks, the texture of your blocks. You can, on the third one, you change the color of some of the things, so you can see the portals are changing color, the flags changing color. This changes the color of some of the blocks as well. This changes the color of the water. So here, let me put some, or lava. Let me put some in the level so you can see that in action. Here, oh, my bad. Alright, so let's just place it like that. Shift, and then now you can see the color of the water changing. This water does kill the player if it touches it. And then this is the decorations if you add those in the game. The background color you can change. Even the background design. I like the stars, but I think the food's kind of a fun one too. This is a bunch of different features you can change, so you can just play around with them a little bit. I don't really have time to explain all of them, but the most important ones are this one, and then this one. This is just an adventure level, so you're collecting the gems. That's the most important part. You collect your 3 gems, or how many are in the game, to exit the level. This is a challenge level, so this, you want to beat it the fastest you can, and you're going to be timed, and that will affect your grade that you get in the game. But again, there are a bunch of different features, soccer, stuff like that. But this is the classic, and that's the challenge, and those are the most commonly done. Okay, and then we've got on to 10, and that's how you set the time. If you want to set it like a time limit for your challenge level, you can set the time for that. So I'll just do the classic here. So as you can see, my level's not, this is not how I'd actually make a level, but I'll still show you what it looks like when you test one. So you got your little person here. They jump around, move around, left, right. They can throw things, so you can change what objects they have to throw. That'll kill them. When the player dies, they die in different ways, obviously. And that is essentially all you really need to know. Whoops, go back to the level editor. To make your level. And just make sure to always save your level before you exit, because that will really suck. I've done that a couple times and it is quite annoying. But that is all you should need to know to get your own little fun adventure started.